happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. I know you guys could probably already tell it is going down just by that title alone. Definitely going to see this, and as we're witnessing Fox News The 5 host Harold Ford Jr. working his way up there with the likes of Jessica Tarlov in this newest segment as that Trump derangement syndrome fully takes control, and we're seeing him start a strong case for getting kicked off the network. Guys, I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's jump straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Harold Ford Jr., how significant is the latest union no-no?
So I know she wanted that endorsement, and because it's one the Democrats have had over the years. I do agree with Joe that thankfully they didn't endorse, for her sake, they didn't endorse Trump, but not endorsing her is, we should not minimize this, especially when it comes on a day where you have jobs numbers come out early this morning, and the economy is performing better than the experts, meaning those who study data, those who take in data from all the various parts of our economy. Many of them thought there would only be about 150,000.
Our economy is working better than the experts. I just don't see how. That right there, that's the Trump derangement syndrome, where you're thinking that Kamala Harris, Joe Biden somehow got the economy back working. Bidenomics is good for America. Like, what America does this guy live in where he's saying that the economy is better than what the experts have predicted? I just don't see it. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all see it.
Data from all the various parts of our economy. Many of them thought there would only be about 150,000 jobs created. You have over 250,000 jobs created. And the market responded positively today. It didn't hit records, the equity markets didn't, but they're doggone close on the S&P to down the NASDAQ. Now, I say this because I think President Trump was right when he said that the stock market is an indicator, a lead indicator of how things are going. What we're seeing as we look at this economy, though, is that the bigger those numbers get and the more wealth is created in America, it seems as that wealth is being concentrated in the top levels of the economy, more so than it's been in the past. You and I have commented about how many people in America live paycheck to paycheck, and a $500 jolt, an unexpected $500 bill could really upend them for the month. And your reaction has been, look, we've lived that way a long time in the country. We're living more that way in the country. I think for her, if I were Vice President Harris, I would double down tonight and starting tomorrow. And I would have 3-4 events a day. She's doing one event a day. You can't do one event a day. You got to be out 3 or 4 times a day. You got to be talking about your middle class agenda. If you believe that Donald Trump, and this is her belief, and I happen to share her belief, if you believe that Donald Trump his plan is to put tariffs on an economy, which will make things more expensive. I know how you like that word. And if you believe that his policies will benefit the rich more than they will the middle class, then she should be out saying that you can't do one event a day. We are 30-something days out, and there has to be.
Even the left, even these left-wing media outlets are saying, or left-wing media journalists are saying, hey, man, Kamala Harris has got to step it up. She's got to do better. We've been seeing Whoopi Goldberg on The View the other day saying, hey, we need Kamala Harris. Come out with a substantive interview, like something. Give us some meat and potatoes, anything. They're pleading with her at this point.
Policies will benefit the rich more than they will the middle class, then she should be out saying that you can't do one event a day. We are 30-something days out, and there has to be a sense of urgency, because we cannot kid ourselves. Not having the Teamsters endorsement, not having the firefighters endorsement when we normally have it. I don't think endorsements are all together the most important thing, but there's certainly a mystique around it. I was glad to see.
That's his way of coping, guys. They're coping right now. Do you hear him? Doesn't matter.
Endorsement. Not having the firefighters endorsement when we normally have it. I don't think endorsements are all together the most important thing, but there's certainly a mystique around it. I was glad to see Bruce Springsteen do what he did today, but Vice President Harris has got to get back out on the road and talk about the differences in her plan and President Trump's plan.
What's more significant, the boss endorsement or the non-endorsement by the firefighters and the Teamsters?
Clearly, Kamala Harris has a problem with men. She has a problem with the firefighters and the Teamsters. They're not looking to support her. She is suffering the loss of men in her campaign. I agree with you, Harold. She ought to be out on the campaign trail, but this is who she is. She isn't anyone that we even heard of for 3.5 years. We had to beg her to go to the border. But, you know, when you talk about Springsteen, saying that Donald Trump is a danger and a threat to democracy. I mean, what threat? The world was at peace when Donald Trump left. And Springsteen and his pals like Meryl Streep and the rest of them, you know, they can appreciate the joy and the unity and all that nonsense because they're rich. But they're nothing like the union members who feel the pain, who feel the inflation, who feel the fact of the border crime. And, you know, these guys are affluent. Life is good for them. It's not good for the firefighters and the first responders. They see everything up front and personal. So I just think in the end that, you know, Bruce Springsteen and everybody else saying they're for Kamala and that Donald Trump's a threat, they're just being political. It's not reality. And the evidence is in the union people.
Wow, Judge Jeanine. I mean, she bundled it up pretty nice. And this is why I always like to come back, refer what Judge Jeanine has to say on, you know, Bruce Springsteen and his friends are able to, you know, do and say, endorse whoever they would like. You know, they live in that world of, yeah, joy and unity because they're filthy rich. It does not matter to them who the presidential candidate is. They will endorse anyone.
She does have a problem with men. I mean, look at her husband. Imagine if that guy was running for Supreme Court justice. Man, believe all women, right, Kamala? You tear them apart. It's hard for firefighters to endorse someone who helped bail out arsonists. Goes against the grain, not to mention a VP who let his cities burn as a virtue signal to hooligans, and whose wife remarked warmly or fondly of the smell of burning rubber. I don't think any fireman could actually endorse that. And remember, they were put at risk as well as police officers during that time. It's a shame. There's no looters, arsonists, and thugs union because Harrison Waltz would have that all sewn up. Again, this firefighters thing, it's another example of the masculine reaction that's going on everywhere. When a man is among, say, women who say Trump is evil, how dare you vote for him? What does the man do? He walks out in the yard and he smokes a cigar. He doesn't argue or recite facts. He excuses himself. With men, ladies, a non-endorsement is an endorsement. He just excuses himself from the conversation because he wants to keep it polite. He doesn't want to get everybody upset at him. The firefighters, you think they're not endorsing Trump? Talk to a firefighter, believe me. On to, what's his name again? Bruce Springsteen. You know, he's made his billions, so he's happy to tell probably more than half of his audience to F off.
Just like Taylor Swift, guys, they're all these mega stars are doing the same thing. It does not really matter. I'm glad Greg's bringing this up too.
Happy to tell probably more than half of his audience to F off. In a way, he's no different than Howard Stern. Once you make new friends, or one celebrity pal is equal or more valuable to all those people that kind of brought you there. I mean, his fans have to be in their 80s. Right? I don't know. I'm joking. I actually saw Springsteen at the Oakland Coliseum in 1980, and I fell asleep. But it is amazing to me that Trump is scarier to an old rocker. It tells you who the rebel is. Again, Trump is the pirate ship, and his critics seem like skittish canoes.
You fell asleep at a Bruce Springsteen concert.
He did this whole section of ballads. It was during the River Tour.
The River Tour. Okay. I totally understand now. When you're involved in a campaign, how aggressive are your people trying to land these endorsements? Was Kamala's team working these unions and then just got rejected, or did they expect it?
Yes, she worked these unions. She worked the Teamsters. She met with them, and they didn't endorse her. And the first time they haven't endorsed a Democrat since 1996. Look, in the wake of the 2000.
And there is a reason for that, folks. She can meet with as many folks, many unions as she wants to, but these folks can see straight through it. I don't care if you do one meeting with us, you know, when you need our vote. What's been happening for the last 3.5 years, they can all see it, we can all see it, and that's why she's not getting these vital endorsements. It does matter.
Her, and the first time they haven't endorsed a Democrat since 1996. Look, in the wake of the 2016 election, I talked to some union workers, and they said there was a mutiny among union workers against the bosses. Now, the union bosses have seen that. When they look at numbers, and they have looked at them, they see Bill Clinton won union members by 30%, Hillary by 12%, Biden by 19%, and Kamala only is ahead by 9%. They see a mutiny among their members. Now, why is there a union mutiny? Okay, Donald Trump has created the working man's economic agenda. No tax on tips. He announced that first. Then it was no tax on overtime. That is a jolt to the working class. Think about that. No tax on overtime. That's massive. And then he said, I'm going to set a limit to interest you're going to pay on your credit card. You heard J.D. Vance today say 1 in 11 Americans cannot pay their credit card debt. Donald Trump is solving that. And then that's before you get to Trump tax cuts. That was a 26% cut for anyone making less than $50,000. This is a working man's economic agenda. Kamala has the line, I'm from the middle class. Donald Trump has a plan. They see it. He has a jolt to the middle class. He's realigned the Republican Party to be a working class party. Who thought you could say that 10 years ago?
Well, I'm just glad she explained collective bargaining.
Yes.
I don't think anybody, and no one in Detroit knows what that means.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Kamala Harris not only losing support among the voters, but we're seeing that union workers, union members, she already lost the Teamsters. Now she's losing the firefighters union. Guys, this is no coincidence. There is a very valid reason for why this is happening. It goes back to my point that I brought up earlier. You know, just because the Harris admin thinks folks on the left are stupid or dumb, they're naive, they'll be able to just swindle or steal a vote. No, these people, they see exactly what's going on right now. I mean, it'd be different if you were a candidate who was fresh, we never seen before, you know, you weren't in office currently. It just doesn't make sense how she thinks she can lie to these people. We can see straight through it, whereas we're living through it. I mean, we go to the grocery store, things are hot. We go to pay our rent. They're sending it through the roof, you know, interest rates through the roof. I mean, we could barely attain a house, barely even manage to even think about the American dream. We're just trying to keep our heads above water at this point. It's because your administration, your failed policy last 3.5 years, and folks are fed up. We've even got Harold Ford Jr. coming to reality in this segment where he's saying, hey, Kamala Harris, she needs to step it up. You know, if she really wants to take this thing seriously, needs to be doing 3 to 4 events a day. She's doing the measly one. It's just not cutting it. If you're not going to do interviews, you're not going to talk to hostile or friendly media, at least go and do campaign events so people know what you stand for. You can start rallying the troops, but that ship has sailed. I mean, we're less than 30 days from election day, and I just don't see it happening, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one week.